All right, imagine this. It's 2014. Apple has just released their new iPhone 6, upgrading from iPhone 5S, and Samsung is on their way to release Samsung Galaxy S4, I guess. That's exactly when I got into architecture. And ever since then, mobile devices have been constantly upgrading over the years. So in these 10 years, I've been using a lot of mobile devices alongside my primary device of drawing, drafting, 3D rendering, modeling. That's my laptop. Let me go and grab my laptop first. So yes, this is my laptop and this is the charging brick it comes with. And as you can see, this is hardly anything practical to carry around. So I've always been relying on mobile devices whenever I'm in a situation where I can't take this one out of my bag and find a power source to plug it into, or I'm just too lazy to wait for it to boot up and load the application. So today I'll be talking about a few of those apps that I've installed on my devices and I've been using since a long time that have helped me in this journey of architecture. So let's get started. So we'll begin with the most obvious app on the list, that's AutoCAD. So AutoCAD is the most popular desktop CAD software that is being used globally. So I use the mobile version of this AutoCAD app as a replacement of my sheets whenever I go to a meeting or to a site visit. Although it has this subscription-based paid version as well, during my 30 days of free trial, I didn't find paid features that interesting. So I have been using the free version and it has been quite helpful regardless. So as you can see, this is the interface. In the free version, you can't actually make a new drawing or modify the existing drawings. So what you can do is you can load up your drawing, you can zoom in to the extent that you want, or you can simply take measurements from the app itself. And this is something that you are not able to do in your printed drawing sheets. Now I've installed AutoCAD on my phone and also in my iPad. And I prefer to use it on my iPad because of the larger screen that it provides and also because of the precision that Apple Pencil gives me whenever I want to input some information there. So the second obvious app is Sketchup. Sketchup Viewer is available in most of the phones and also in tablet devices like iPad. Now this app has been a game changer for me because taking a 3D model to a client meeting or to a site was not possible without carrying my huge laptop with me. You can imagine the ease that Sketchup Viewer gives you when you have the power to orbit your 3D model, zoom in and out right on your mobile device. Now, since this app has to utilize the limited resources that your mobile device can provide, it can be smooth or a little choppy depending upon the size of your model or the power of your device. Now, SketchUp has this special SketchUp for iPad version for iPad. And as you can see, this has a little more functions than the regular mobile version. Now you can also get a paid subscription to this app and enable the features like editing a model or creating a model from scratch. But I've been using this free version as a viewer and it gets most of my work done. Now I've known people who have subscribed to the paid version of this app, but according to them, using the touch interface for editing or creating a model is not as efficient as using keyboard and mouse. As you can see, even in the free version, you can have this interface with the ability to control shadows, scenes, tags, and styles that you have already set up in your 3D model. There's also this AR feature where you can place your model on any surface or scale it up to 1:1 scale so that you can look around using your iPad. But personally, I've not used this feature as much. The third app on this list is iRhino. Rhinoceros is a 3D modeling app for desktop that is being used by a lot of architects these days worldwide. And surprisingly, it didn't have a good mobile version until a few months back. And boy, they have done a really good job here. As you can see, you can do everything that SketchUp Viewer app does in its mobile version. Here you can see different scenes, different viewing methods. Although you cannot directly measure a distance as such, but you have this ability to inspect an object and look at the details that include the dimension of this object. Now, the groundbreaking feature in this app has to be the ability to scan any interior space and get a 3D model being made in real time. So as you can see here, I'm taking a scan of this room, and when I pan around, I can get the position of doors, windows, and it even takes the position of these furnitures that have been placed here. Now this app records all of these information in different layers or objects. So as you can see, this is the wall, this is furniture, and so on. Now, when I first used this app, I was really amazed at the accuracy that it had when recording all of these information into the respective layers. And I really thank the developers who brought this really useful app to us architects. The fourth app on the list is Pinterest. I've seen a lot of designers and architects feeling hesitant to use Pinterest as much because it has been notoriously being used for getting influenced a lot. However, I believe that Pinterest is a really good mood board collector app. My clients normally share with me their pin board, and I take this as my reference for their understanding of how the final product is going to be. Now, this reduces the to and fro process between us architects and the client, reducing the time of design significantly. Now, on top of this, I also use Pinterest as a method of getting updated with the recent trend in design or different products that have been coming to the market or any terminologies that my client might use during our client meeting. The times when I find Pinterest really useful is during design competitions. You might know that most of design competitions have a limit on the number of sheets that you can use, and finding a good illustration idea where you can convey as much information as possible through one single diagram is incredibly important. And Pinterest is a collection of all those ideas that people have been using. So I want to take an example of this recent design competition that we participated in. We had this linear site where we had to design a public space. So I looked for references in Pinterest to find illustrations that efficiently represented a linear design in a presentation sheet. So the next app on the list is Scaniverse. If you have heard of the words photogrammetry and LiDAR sensor, then you might have already heard of this app. So what this app does is basically creates a 3D scan of any object or space around you. Now this app uses two different methods for this. First is Splat and the second is Mesh. I use this app on my iPad to get scans of interior spaces and also outdoor terrains. You can scan anything between a small room to multiple floors, as you can see in one of my projects here. The end result is surprisingly usable, but it's not perfect. As you can see, I can go back to the scans to see the special connections or measure any dimension of elements that I have missed to measure during my site visit. I also normally use these scans to demonstrate the space to my team members, since it might not be possible for all the team to visit to all the sites every time. Now, the sixth app on this list is Procreate. Now, sadly, this is the only paid and iPad only app on the list. To all the Android users, there's a similar app called Sketchbook that you can use on your device. Due to all of the reviews that I have seen on the internet, I bought this app soon after I got my iPad, and when I used it, I found the initial payment of $10 is definitely worth it. Now, Procreate is basically a graphics or art software that uses a canvas and a layer system, something similar to Photoshop. Here you have different brushes available that you can use for a variety of things. I personally use it as my digital sketchbook, taking notes and sketching out details and overlaying iterations using additional layers. One smart use I found for this myself is to use it as taking notes for measurement on site. Here I first take a photo and then reduce the opacity and note the dimensions over it on a new layer. This reduces my time to make rough sketches on the site just to note the measurements. I also use it sometimes to draw over the real world. Here in this example, I asked one of my interns to give me a height reference for a semi-arched wall that we were planning to make in one of our projects. Now, I also use to make digital arts and sketches for my projects, as you can see in examples right here. And I also use it to make digital arts during my spare time. Now, the seventh app on this list is focused more on my Nepali viewers. It's called Naapi. Now, one serious issue that I found in Nepal as an architect is the lack of standard units of measurement. While one municipality uses the metric system, the other one just close by it uses an imperial system. There are also different methods of measuring the area of sites in different parts of the country, which makes it even more confusing. Now, Naapi is basically a unit converter app which can convert things like length, area, volume, and so on. Now, as you can see here, it also has Nepalese unit system integrated for easy conversion. Naapi works perfectly in Android devices, but sadly it's not available in Apple devices as of now. Now, there's a similar app for all the Apple users. It's called Naaptaul. which gets the work done, but I really like the interface that Naapi has provided. Now I really request the Naapi team to come up with an iOS version of their app as well. The next app on the list is Adobe Scan. Now Adobe Scan is a document scanning app made by, you guessed it, Adobe. Earlier I used Cam Scanner for the same job, but after I discovered Adobe Scan, I quickly shifted on to this because it was a more reliable option. Here you are able to use camera on your smartphone to scan documents, save, and share as PDF. The best thing is that the app aligns the pages for you. It also adjusts the contrast, the brightness, and finally it bundles all of the pages as a single PDF that is easy to share. Now the next app on the list is a collection of apps from Google. It's Google Docs, Slides, Sheet, and Drive. Now think of Google Docs, Google Slide, and Google Sheet as Google's own version of Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. Now unlike the Microsoft version of these apps on mobile devices, the Google versions are entirely free to use, and you have the ability to sync across multiple devices like your laptop and your mobile device. Now I use it personally to create documents that I normally would like to share with my team and have the input on the same file. Now this multiple access can sometimes be done in real time during a meeting or whenever I want somebody from my team to edit the drawing in their own time. Now Google Drive is something that I might not have to explain to all of you. I use it to store and share documents to my team members or anyone outside the team. Coming to the next app, it's Microsoft To-Do. Now there are a lot of To-Do apps available on all the platforms. Now I chose Microsoft To-Do because it has this Windows version, this Android version, and an iOS version that synchronizes perfectly between devices. One unique feature in Microsoft To-Do is this thing called My Day. So what you can do here is at the beginning of your day, you can add different tasks that you would want to complete in that specific day. And by the end of the day, you can come back to this list and evaluate yourself on how many tasks you have been able to complete in your day. You can of course make multiple lists in this app. As you can see here, I've made lists for my different projects and also my grocery list. Now next app on the list is Apple Notes. Now this is my go-to note-taking app because it is well integrated into this Apple ecosystem, but I really wish they had a dedicated Windows version as well, because right now what I have to do is log into my iCloud in my browser and access my notes through it. I use Apple Notes basically to make notes, list minutes of meetings, and also sketch out quick ideas that I might come up with. The integration with Apple Pencil makes it perfect to use on my iPad, and it has definitely been a good substitute for my notebook. So yes, that was it. That were all the mobile applications that I use as an architect. I'd love to know about any other applications that you guys have been using as designers or architects or even architecture students that I might have not known. So let me know your list of applications in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.